Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 32nd episode of Concerned Dabs Podcast. I am your host, Kady Kane. Possibly joining me later will be my co host, Will Turbs. But tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Craig from the Red Hog and Res Hog Film. What's up, Ryan Craig?
Oh, it's good to be on here, Kane. I had no idea you have been doing this for 32 weeks. Is that what that means? Or it's just you
Yeah,
keep
man.
track of each show?
Yeah, 32 weeks.
So what was it that inspired you to say you were going to do your own podcast?
Well, dude, for cannabis, there's not a lot of good content out there. So me and my friend Will, we would have super dope, deep convo at the cannabis shop we worked at, Natural Wonders. Shout out. Um, and we just decided we wanted to do a podcast, and so we linked up with Mitchell and Jess and made it happen.
That's cool. How did you guys feel like for you? Me and you are the same age. So growing up, remember when marijuana, cannabis, pot, whatever you want to call it, had a stigma? It was
Yeah.
looked at as however it was looked at. How do you feel now about how the commercialization of it and it's cool now and it's just all fine? How did that make you feel as things began to change in the last couple of years to where it was like that?
Well, to me, I dig that it's more accepted. I don't like that big money is able to edge out people who've risked their freedom for years. Like that's a sad part about it. But I think as long as the raws are lit, the raws are lit. As long as the laws are written so that people can grow their own, I'll be happy with that. Because
Yeah.
everybody should be able to grow their own. But that's depending on which state you're in, you can or cannot. And so they're going to vote federally soon. And I hope that you don't have to buy it from a store. I hope you can grow your own.
What's that like for you when you come to? Well, what's it like in Arizona? Because in Washington now it's this thing where they got these fancy lights and commercials on the radio and billboards, and to me, it just I was never big into that. You know, I've been around it and stuff, and I don't have anything against it. I'm just saying the way it feels now is so commercial, I guess. What's it like in
Yeah.
Arizona?
Yeah, it's the same. It's still just medical here. So you have to get a medical card before you can go to a store. But there's billboards, and I think there's like 100 shops in Arizona. So,
Okay.
but to me, I started off as a medical patient in Oregon and Washington. And when I worked in shops, that was the only people that I was able to serve for like the first 3 or 4 years. It was people who had medical cards who were coming in looking for medicine. And so my experience and knowledge, I tried to use to help them find what they want or what's going to help them with their condition, you know? And so since it went rec, a lot of that shit's out the window. It's still geared towards effects, like how's it going to make you feel, but not necessarily to remedy symptoms of a condition of a medical patient. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I was just
Okay.
curious, as you get into your 30s and late 30s now for us, we see things change, and when I see things change, whether that be music, movies, the things that we consume, the things that we eat, the things that we do in our free time, it's not that I'm ever like mad because I remind myself there's lawmakers that are either there's people that works to pass laws that are our age, maybe even
Yeah.
younger. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's not like we're kids anymore, and I have to remind myself that sometimes. Oh shit, I'm not a teenager no more. But I
Same.
sometimes feel like that, you know?
I do too, bro. Like
Like
I
all the
do.
ways that you think about weed, you think about weed, you hide it. It's in a plastic bag in your pocket. You have to hide it uh because you don't want somebody to see you. Like it doesn't have to be like that no more. That's what's kind of weird, you know?
It is, dude. Living in Oregon for those years really changed my perspective. It calmed down my paranoia. Down in AZ, I still swim back. Like I'm sure I don't smoke outside anymore. Like I'm not, I still got to be ninja. But like you said the stuff you consume, that's the other thing too, Ryan Craig. When I was growing cannabis, I had to pass a test for mold, for pesticides. Um, what was the other thing? Mold and mildew and pesticides. So I had to grow it really clean, and I did organic, made my own soil, all that, and they did away with the mold test on rec, but you still have to pass for pesticides, E. coli, and salmonella. But you were talking about the consuming of products. Everything at the grocery store, Ryan Craig, didn't go through that test. It didn't get tested for pesticides or E. coli or salmonella. That's why you still see those outbreaks happen. It's like they're recalling this lettuce because it has E. coli. Like at a weed shop, that would have never hit the shelf. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like
I
as
never
far
had this conversation. That's interesting. To me, I think of apples. Where I'm from,
yeah.
apples are a
Yeah.
billion-dollar industry. Do you think something is? Do you think you would want to eat something when you see a guy go by on a tractor wearing all this protective gear, including
Yeah.
something he has to breathe in? Do you think that's something you want to eat now?
No,
Fuck
man.
no. That's crazy to
No.
think about. So
It
that's what I
is.
thought of when you mentioned that.
Well, dude, like wine, most of those grapes had that guy rolling by on the tractor, spraying the shit
See,
out of
if
them.
you're from this region, you've seen it, huh? Describe it
Yeah.
for somebody who might be listening, who's maybe never been to a rural agricultural area. It's like what Walter White and Jesse were wearing when they were cooking meth on Breaking Bad. It's like that. That's
Yeah,
what
they're
they're
geared
wearing.
up like that. Yep.
Going by in a tractor, while the people who live in the community, we don't wear that, and they're spraying it, 50 yards away from us. We just drive
Yep.
by. We just keep doing whatever we're doing.
Yep.
So,
Oh
well,
shit,
so
they're
what I
spraying.
did
Roll the
is,
window up.
yeah, what I did was is I got two apple trees and one peach tree. So in the summer, I get to enjoy maybe 10 apples, and then I get to
Tight.
enjoy maybe 20 peaches. But I don't have to fucking put gear on and fucking spray it with all that pesticides or whatever else it is. I just
Fuck
eat it the way it
yeah.
grows from the ground. So that's kind
Dude,
of
that's
similar to what you're
dope.
talking about.
That's dope, Ryan Craig. That's my same my goals or wishes for everybody in the country. It's like you're growing your apples so that you can enjoy them, free from whatever the industry poisons them with. People should be able to do that
Right.
with cannabis too,
Well,
you
because
know?
I hear people say, "Oh, it's such a bad year for the growers," or they'll say, "Oh, if this batch goes bad, the warehouse is going to lose a whole day of production." And I'm thinking in my head, I don't care. They're already millionaires anyway. They're already rich anyway. They already did everything they did to our land over here anyway. Why do I care? I don't care if
Yeah.
they have a bad year. I just want to grow my vegetables and fruit and put it on the table and eat it. You know what I mean? Like I don't get why people say that.
Yeah, goddamn right. Um,
It's funny,
well,
yeah.
cause
Like, who
well,
cares
cause
about
dude,
their crop in their
yeah,
warehouse?
piss and moan. Yeah.
Or all of a sudden it rains or it hails. Oh, I'm so worried about the cherries. Why are you worried about the cherries? They weren't gonna take some of their profits and donate it to things for like playgrounds for kids or underprivileged people.
Nah.
Stop worrying about their cherries.
Yeah, they're subsidized by the government, dude.
There you go.
Most most farms, especially in this country, like for grain or anything else, they don't actually make money. They don't have a viable business unless they're subsidized by the government, which is fucking crazy, you know?
Because it doesn't matter what the weather does. They're gonna get paid either way, right?
Exactly.
Are we wrong to assume
Yeah,
that? Now, somebody might be listening who was raised by a farmer, and I'm not saying I'm anti-farmer.
me
I'm just
neither.
saying,
I love
I'm just
farmers.
saying, I'm not gonna lose sleep at night because it got cold and somebody had to go put on those smudge things if they still have those. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Like
think they do.
where I'm from, we were. The teacher would say, "Well, if you had to go outside late and smudge, I'll give you a break. You don't have to do your homework." Oh bullshit! Knock it off. That doesn't make them better because they go work in the apple orchard.
Uh,
I don't know. I just got this weird uh, idea of farming and stuff. I see it as kind of greedy sometimes. Like
yeah,
not all the time, but yeah.
yeah. It's turning that way in cannabis too.
Is it? Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's kind of where.
Well,
That's kind of why I asked how you felt.
yeah,
You sincerely, you sincerely have lived this lifestyle for 20 plus years, right?
yeah,
And now
yep,
you see people coming along who never lived it, who just want to either make money off of it or feel like they belong to something, or I don't know.
yeah.
But see, I don't want to
Well,
be bitter like that either, though.
I understand. If Will was here, I would ask him to define the term Chad. He's always calling people Chads, and I feel that term.
Hmm.
And it's like you're saying, guys who don't know shit about it, bringing a bunch of money into it, just trying to profit. And I am super inviting to anyone who wants to be a part of the community, like the cannabis community. But it's hard to be inviting to guys like that, you know? It's like the industry fucking executive bloodsucker guy that's gonna change everything about it that you like into something you don't like. So it's like fuck, it makes you a little bit salty. But that's why I just want everybody to be able to grow their own. Cause it's like, yeah,
Right.
these guys are gonna take over industry for sure. You know, like I fucking work for Amazon, bro. You know, like they're not gonna lose. And neither is big money in cannabis. But as long as everybody can grow their own, I'll be happy. You
I
know?
now after you say all that, think about it like this: nobody's forcing me to go to Walmart or Costco to get my cabbage or lettuce or squash or pumpkins. So it's the same thing. I can go outside,
Yeah.
take the seeds, put them in the dirt, and get a sprinkler and a hose and water it
Yep.
every day
Set it on a
from
timer.
eight. There you go. So that's the same
Mm,
thing you're saying, right?
yeah.
Okay,
And
so
it's that
I agree with you. Yeah, totally.
it's that easy. People think it's hard. Like people would come into the shop and we'd have a bunch of clones and they'd be new, like new patients. And I'd be like, yo, you guys should grab a couple cuts, throw them in the backyard. And they'd be scared. Oh man, I don't know. It sounds hard. And I'd look at them and I'd say, Ain't nothing to it but to do it. You know what I mean? It's like it's dirt, water, and sunlight. You know, like make sure they're fucking watered. It'll grow. It'll bloom in the fall.
Well,
And
everything we're talking about kind of goes back to just everyday life, meaning nobody's gonna force me to pull up to McDonald's and order the quarter pounder with the and make the fries bigger and then get the sugary Coca-Cola.
yep.
Nobody's gonna force me to do that.
Nope.
I can just decide, hey, I'm gonna find something else that I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna prepare it myself. So the way you just said that is kind of the same. Like people are overpaying because they choose to. But I also get
Yes.
what you're saying is that nobody wants to have that fear that somebody's going to come say, "Oh, you're only allowed to grow this many, and we have to do this and this and this." You're saying that too, right?
Well, dude, yeah. There shouldn't be a plan, but there's going to be, you know? Like 6 is okay. If you could put 6 plants in your backyard, you could make it to the next summer, you know? Like
Yeah.
that'll last you through the winter. You'll be okay.
Well,
But
think of somebody living in an urban city environment who decided, whether their neighbors liked it or not, if this little area right here is my area that I get to have to grow grass or whatever it is that I'm allowed to do. What if people just decided they were going to start having chickens or
yeah,
raising pigs and cows and livestock? Somebody
yeah,
would look at them like, "You're crazy. You can't do that within these city limits." But why? Why can't you? Why can't you grow your
yeah,
own food? Be your
yeah,
own butcher. Slaughter your own food. Prepare your own food. You know, natives do it with fish all the time.
yeah. That's
Anyway, these are just ways to think to where you're not so dependent on this idea because it's not good to be too dependent to think that the government is going to always be there for you and always help you, and we need to respect these leaders and honor these leaders the same way we did Ronald Reagan. But
no.
it's also not good to think that, wait, the government's out to get me. Fuck all of them. You know, like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's not good to be too extreme one way or the other. Just be your own person is what we're trying to get to, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, man.
And that could, because that could go to marijuana, meaning that maybe for me, marijuana isn't what I want and what I need, but that's
Yep.
okay. I don't have to go and say, uh, Kady Kane, that's not what's good for you, because I don't know what's good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
But people don't want to think that way no more. People want to have somebody else think for them, and that's what I'm just
yeah.
trying to get away from in life altogether.
Me too. I want to ask questions. No, no
And
doctors.
right, and it doesn't have to be a fight. It doesn't have to be a debate. No, it's just asking questions.
Yeah, like no regular doctor would tell me about medical marijuana. I had to pay 150 bucks for it. And so it's like,
Why?
because it's illegal, basically. You know, there's this little loophole. The doctor sticks his neck out for 150 bucks and you get to grow 6 plants. That's more or less how. So I don't know, dude. I just, being on my res, I didn't know all these things were happening until I got there. And then it was like, holy shit. And just,
When you,
uh,
oh, sorry.
I don't try to push on folks, but if they have questions, I try to answer them honestly or refer them to a resource that can answer their question.
Hey, but when you said that, you know what that made me think of?
What's up?
I don't know why. This idea that if you get in trouble for something, whether it be a misdemeanor or a felony, this idea that if I don't have money to pay some person that went to 6 years or 8 years of law school somewhere, that I'm basically fucked if I don't have that money. Like, shouldn't
Yep.
the law be the law?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that if I go and fork out $5,000 for this case, and I'm just throwing out a number, I don't know what it would be. Oh,
Yeah,
he'll make it go away. But why couldn't it just have gone away because I was innocent? Like, I'm so tired of people who don't have the means to go and pay a bunch of money to somebody being in a situation where a public defender tells you, well, I don't think we want to chance it. Knowing that you're innocent, knowing that you
yeah,
did not do what they said you did, and they say, I don't think we should chance it. You better just take the deal. But if you had thousands of dollars in your bank account, you wouldn't even have any worries because they would prove you're innocent. Like, to me, that idea is just like insane. Like, why can't the
yeah.
law just be the law?
Most times too, paying that money and saying you're gonna go to trial will get them to offer a way better deal. You know what I mean? It's like they don't want to spend the money, but it's like if he's going to, then fuck, we might as well just give him a lesser charge, probation. But if you don't have that look, you're getting the first deal they offer, and you're going to jail. You know you're gonna pay money, and you're gonna be on probation.
You know, in some of these smaller places, I don't even think they would. I don't even think they can take it to trial. Like, I
Yeah,
don't even think they
it's
have
too
that
expensive.
option.
That's why the
They don't
laws are
even
changing.
have that.
It's a waste of money. Like these weed people are, they're not stealing anything. It's like we're spending like 5 times as much to take them to court as they're gonna pay out for their penalty. You know what I mean? Like the
Because
money
the
you pay for
idea in my
fines.
head is that we are here for you to uphold the law, and we are here for me to answer as to whether or not I committed this crime. But once you get there, you're not there for that. It's like being at the
Nah.
Department of Licensing. Who's next? In, out.
Yeah.
All right, pay up. Sign your
Yeah.
name here. Set up a payment plan. And I'm just so tired of that idea of like, and it's kind of like what you said when you said you had to pay money just to talk to a doctor about it. And that's kind of how
Yeah.
I feel like you have to pay money just to talk to somebody about what's right and what's wrong and how the law
Yeah.
works. But the law should
Yeah,
just be
man.
the law.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Anyway, what's up?
Yeah.
What else is going on?
Well, man, I'm just chilling. I dig how you started that, Ryan Craig. You worked in radio, didn't you?
I did for a long time, and even radio to me got to the point where uh, they told me this day was coming, but I love Sirius XM. It's cool and everything
Yeah.
like that. But the art of being the person that can influence people's moods and all that, that's almost gone now. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
the job is like dying out, and it's kind of
Yeah,
sad
dude.
actually. But
Anytime you want to come on here, bro, let me know. We got you.
all right, cool. This dude I went to college with, he came over from Federal Way, that's by Seattle, and he worked at 107. When we were young over here, 107 was like that was the top 40 station. So that was like all we had for like Boys to Men, Mariah Carey, and then at night they would play Ice Cube and Dr. Dre and stuff. But
Yeah.
he tells me they won't give me enough hours. They're only gonna let me do the morning show. And in radio, morning drive was always a big deal back in the day. When we went to
Yeah.
school, they talked about morning drive is when you put your best DJ on. So he says that they hire him to only do the mornings. So he's working the 4 hours, 5 hours, or whatever, getting off work, doesn't know what to do with his time. He's not from Yakima. And after all that, after about 3 months, 3 to 6 months, I can't remember what it was that he got to work or whatever, he tells me, I could have made more money working at McDonald's. And this is somebody that learned the trade. He was good at what he did. He was doing morning drive in like the 111th biggest market in the country of Yakima. You know,
Damn.
200,000 people in the Yakima Valley. And he told me, I could have made more money working at McDonald's. This is about, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. And it was at
Bummer,
that
man.
moment I just thought, damn, this art form is just like, It's dying, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why creating our own is where it's at, bro.
There you go. There
I
you
would
go.
listen to your podcast every week, Ryan Craig. We should do one.
But that's where you have to appreciate the art. You love to
Yeah.
talk about cannabis. You love to talk about the lifestyle, the ways you grow it, the history of it, and all that. And so that's what you did because
Yep.
you didn't get to hear it enough. So you did it for the
Yeah.
love of it. You didn't do it saying, "Oh, I'm going to get this corporate sponsor and we're going to get this person to sponsor us." No, you did it because you loved it, right?
Yeah, man.
And that's what I'm trying to get to too. And that brings up the movie. The thing about this, if anybody were to ever ask me about the movie, well, I'm not really big on like, oh yeah, yeah, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about myself. I want to talk about this.
No,
But
no,
if we do
no,
start
Ryan
talking
Craig.
about it, I
I
want to
want you
say
to
when we
talk
did it.
for at least 2 minutes. I gotta run and grab a drink, and I'll be right back. But talk, please,
Okay,
about the movie.
okay.
Okay.
So the thing about the movie is you got to think. Don't do a movie for reasons where your goal is to just make money or I want to reach this many people like, oh, I got to do it on this topic because this is what's trending right now. No, don't do any of that. The whole reason to make art, whether that be film, music, paint, drawing, podcast, whatever it may be, is because it makes you feel good and it makes you happy. And then once you lose that drive or that love for the whole reason why you did it, then the whole thing just became pointless. You might as well just stop and give up. But if your love for the art kind of is intertwined with what you do for a living, then it's kind of all right. But then you're kind of stuck like, well, I got to pay this bill, I got to pay that bill.
I'm back.
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm back.
I was talking about when you lose the love for something, you might as well stop doing it. But in
Yeah.
my case, the things that I'm doing, they kind of are intertwined with what I have to do to pay bills.
Yeah, man.
So,
Same.
but I was just saying, there's certain things that trend, whether it be in inner cities, whether it be in rural communities, whether it be anywhere in the world, and some people want to jump on things that are trending, you know. And
Yeah.
that's okay if there's people who do that. They capitalize off of what's hot. There's a lot of people that we know that do that. They're not bad people. But me personally, I never wanted to be that guy, you know?
Me neither.
I only wanted to do what I wanted to do. And maybe
Same.
sometimes it was what was trending. It's
Yeah.
okay to go with trends. I'm not saying I'm anti-trend. I'm only saying I never wanted somebody to tell me you need to make something you need to make a song about this and point their finger in my face. You need to make a film
Yeah.
about this and point their finger in my face.
Yeah. I don't need to do
But see,
shit but express myself as an artist.
now with that being said, Kane, you got to see the positives and negatives, the good and the bad of being 100% independent. We had
Yeah.
no money.
At all.
Our budget was zero. Our budget was negative. So,
Yeah. That,
would
we had to
would it
price
have been
out
nice?
what shit
Would it
costed
have been nice to
and
have
come
some
up
money
with it.
though?
Yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been
So
super
the
nice.
question for you is, would you have taken let's say somebody came along and said, "Hey, we want this product placement or we want you guys to put something in this movie with this specific message and we'll give you this here's $5,000. There you guys. Eat good, travel good, no more stress." Would you do
Nah,
it?
not for 5.
I like that. I
For real.
like that.
Well, I mean, it for real. It costs more than that. It's gonna be seen more times than that. You know, because okay, there's a rapper from Portland. He's called Amine, and he had this song called Caroline. and it's fucking dope. Like I like his shit. It's like comedic, but still about girls. And in the video, he had Kahuna Burger, their restaurant in Beaverton, and they sponsored it. I don't know how much he got paid because it was before he blew up, but that
Mhm.
video blew the fuck up. So they probably got a deal like you're talking about. They probably threw him flat, and they ate a burger in the video, like the homie grabs it and takes a big bite, it cuts to that, and it's like yeah, and then they shoot one of the scenes outside the restaurant. So it's like I I don't know, Ryan Craig. If they gave us 5, like what the fuck, like shit. I'll take a bite of the
Well,
burger, put the
I've met
logo on
other
that.
people. I've met other people, and they said, well, first we're gonna do what do you call that? And for anybody that's hearing this, I don't know technical terms, and
Yeah, yeah,
I don't claim to know technical terms about filmmaking, about music business, none of that. But hey, what's that called when you oh, a storyboard?
yeah,
I didn't even know what a storyboard was. And then there's somebody who's trying to walk me through how we're gonna do a storyboard. And I'm not saying I don't want to do it. I'm only saying I came from a background where when we used to do music, our goal was to get it done as soon as we possibly could because it wasn't even our computer, it wasn't even our equipment. We had to
yep,
get in and get out. And so I brought those same bad habits over to filmmaking. But the authenticity of the content and the writing and the acting is why we have people saying we like it. We want to see
yeah.
more. We want to bring you to these events and stuff. And so that's what we're talking about is being able to go to LA. It's called the LA Skins Fest. It's happening this
Right
coming
now, as
weekend.
this episode airs, we're there
Right.
right now.
And so I can guarantee you I would be very, very, very surprised if there was another film that had a budget that was similar to ours, meaning very low. And that has nothing to do with our talent. That just has to do with the way we made the film. Now, I think for you, Kane, I think as you progress and your resume gets bigger for your acting, do you think this helped you being in this? All right, cut. Do it again. Cut. Okay, yeah, yeah. This amateur style that we use of rushing. Now, do you want to go to the other side where you have somebody who went to film school and then they do things what will be quote unquote bunny ears the right way? Well, what do you think?
Nah, man. Cause honestly, bro, I have high hopes going to this film fest this weekend. That maybe
Yeah.
other folks will want to collaborate with us, but it's just been my experience that those kids don't want to play with us, you know.
Oh
And
yeah, I
so
know what you mean.
and so I'm thankful to you that you let me be a part of this project because it's dope. Like it's talented writing and acting. It came out dope. And I feel like more independent folks would be inclined to work with me because of this, and I'm down. Um, and if some regular people want to that do it the quote unquote correct way, I'd be down to check it out. But I don't expect those people to want to work with, bro. I don't think they want to. I think they'll look the other way, and
Well,
I'm
you know
okay
what
with
I
that.
think it might be is that if we expose that anyone who has determination and the passion for filmmaking, we're gonna expose that anybody can do this. Like This was
Yeah.
what they call, I think, guerrilla filmmaking, right?
Yeah, goddamn right.
There were no permits. Um, just to give some people some ideas of how stressful it could get, there was this guy. He was the mayor of a town over here on my reservation, and he was a controversial figure. He was in the news often, and it didn't matter to me whether I liked him or disliked him, agreed or disagreed with his politics. We wanted to use this the jail
Location.
in the town, and all of the anticipation and stress that went into waiting to see if we could get in would only have been done by a group like us. Others would have said this is very unprofessional. He shouldn't have put us off like this to where we're waiting for an hour or two. And I
Yeah, it
mean,
was on some
but
famous
it was,
people shit.
what's that?
It was like a superstar, famous person shit. I'm like, fuck, he's not gonna show up. I was being super pessimistic. I was like, fuck, he's not gonna show up. Let's go shoot the next scene.
honestly, honestly, the making of the film was just as dramatic as the film.
Yeah, we should have had a
I mean, there
camera
were,
rolling that whole time.
but when you have a crew where there were no really extra people around except for the one guy who was doing the sound with this
Dude,
little
what was his
recorder
name?
without any kind of stand.
Rigo?
But there was what was his name? His name
Was
was
it Rigo?
Caesar.
Caesar. Yeah.
So then our lead female actor got a phone call from home that something bad had happened with a friend. I think they may have passed away. So there was
Yeah.
that. There was just a lot of different things, and we crammed everything into about what 10 hours as
Nah.
far as filming
It
went.
was like 14.
Okay.
We went from 8
So
till like 10:30, 11.
and then we wrapped up the next day, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did our post interviews the next day.
When
Oh, we
was
did
that
one
last scene
scene.
filmed where
Yeah.
you and the second and the supporting female were filming the last scene? When was that? Was that Saturday or Sunday?
No, that was Sunday. We did. That was on
Okay.
Sunday.
So a day and a half or so of filming.
Yeah.
So I think what I would want to say to anybody out there is, to me, it felt like when I first got into music back in the late '90s, is that I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really have anybody to coach me or lead me. I had a lot of people that thought it was just stupid to even do, but I was passionate enough about it. If you apply that to your life, me and Kane and Kylie, we didn't know we were really going to make it to be a finalist in a film festival. And we didn't do it for that. My
Nah.
point is that we're going to be sitting in LA with those people that probably spent maybe $1 million on their project, maybe 50,000, maybe 10,000. It's
Yeah.
still, we're going to be even for that day. So,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, it was all worth it.
For real, bro. Like Sunday, I want to watch all of them. Like, I want to go there all day.
Me
You know
too.
what I mean?
Me too. I want to appreciate their work and at the same time compare ours to
Yeah.
theirs.
I want to compete. Yeah. Same, dude.
I want to talk to other people. I want to talk to them about uh, where'd you guys film it? How many days did it take? What was your budget? And I'm not saying it to say, well, our budget was this. No, I just want to know, like how
Yeah.
did your guys' work?
For reals.
Hey, but then part of the story too is that this film took so long to edit because our director of photography kind of held the movie hostage. And so the stress that went along with that made everything weird for everybody. Me, you,
Yeah.
Kylie, were in this weird triangle where we were like, is it gonna be done? Is it not gonna be done? You got
Yeah.
stressed, I got stressed. Kylie felt like maybe she wasted her time. So then
Yeah.
like 11 months go by. Uh the director of photography, he's not a professional. He's not a film school guy. He's somebody who has a camera. So
And
so so then we
software.
finally work it out to where we get with Nate Wintershep, the co-founding member of the Red Sox.
Yeah,
He gets
shout
it
out to
done for us.
Nate.
Shout out to Nate Wintershep. But then my question for you, Kane, is after all of that, 11 months, after all the stress, after all the miscommunication that happened between me, you, Kylie, our director of photography, how did you feel the very first time when you finally got the one? Because you had seen some rough drafts and you had seen some that were 50% done, but when you finally got that final one with the sound the way it needed to be, the edits the way they needed to be, what were your thoughts?
Oh, dude, I was super happy. Like, dude, I was super like Nate, dude. He freaked that shit. Like it's the birds chirping. You know what I mean? Like everything, dude. I was like, fuck, this is dope. The little carnival music in the arcade scene. I was like, damn. So I was happy, man. The way everything looked, cause I did it out of love, and I'm like, what's the goal with this, John? Why are you motivated to do this? And it's like, I want to see it when it's done. You know, that's I'm not getting paid. Like I want to do it because I've been wanting to do this, and I want to see it when it's done. And I it just felt like a huge accomplishment, and that's the best feeling to me. Cause sometimes I'll chase pussy or whatever, you know. And as the years go by, um, that goal doesn't feel as good as this goal, you know, because it's like I really tried and it really looks good, and I can share it with other people, you know.
Well,
And
because you could go play cards, or you could play a slot machine, and you could get a jackpot just by being a dumbass and pushing a button. So it's
yeah,
not. It's not. I see what you're saying. It's not money anymore. You know,
no,
like what if we would have said, oh yeah, we have an investor who gave us this money. Here you go, Kane. Here's money for everything, your travel, your food, for your time. Don't worry about it no more. Just let it go. I see what you're saying is that you did it for the love. You weren't gonna think like that. You
no,
invested your time and your energy and shit, everything that you had into that role, and it did get
yeah, bro,
emotional.
yeah, man, serious. Because when you when we're trying to pick a date, I just said, man, tell me a date. If it's on a Saturday, cool. I'll fly out. I got to do a bunch of other shit while I'm there, but I want to do this. This is priority. So, and then booking Kylie. Shout out to Kylie Fox, ladies and gentlemen, because she is the shit. She showed up and did work. She had all of her lines memorized and she was ready to go. And so was her friend Ryan. Shout out to Ryan too. Um,
Hmm.
but dude, it was I called at least five girls, you know, that all said maybe scheduling. And then we had one who was like, yeah, she's going to do it. And then we're trying to book the plane ticket and she couldn't, she pussyfooting around. So I'm just like, fuck. And I shout out to Kylie Fox because I don't know her that well. We're friends online. I'm a fan of the stuff she posts. Her content is on point. But I just messaged her and she said, yeah. I sent her the script and she was like, hell yeah. So I just, I did, dude. I tried my ass off, Ryan Craig, and it turned out good, you know? Because
Well, some things are like that in life, especially when you have a passion for it. Meaning that after everything was said and done, and we had the final product, I thought this wouldn't have been as good if our director of photography, who was originally going to be our main editor, it wouldn't have been as good if we would have had him do it. We needed that fate to come where Nate would be the one to add what he added.
yeah,
And what it
dude.
was that
Because
he added, you can't really put into words. It was just like he took his artistry and he applied it with these
yeah,
little subtle things that made it complete. And so it was,
yeah,
and
dude.
he and I hadn't been talking. He has a life where sometimes he goes off the grid through social media, and I think maybe he had other things going on in his life. We hadn't even talked or spoke. I sent the rough draft to him. I said, "Hey, watch this. Tell me what you think." He says, "Hey, can I do a few things to it?" I said, "Hell yeah." Well,
Yeah,
him doing a few things turned into him completing it to where it was set. Now, for anybody wondering, I wrote a film based off of things that happened in my life. Some things are exactly how they happened. Some things were altered in order to fit a script of a 10-minute film. So Kady Kane's character is based off of me. Of course, there's going to be parts where it wasn't exactly the way I said or did things, but it's just based off of me. Kylie Fox plays a character that was based off of somebody who was my friend, who I was involved with, and then those are the two main characters. So it's their story, and they just really brought it to life. So
yeah,
Amazon
dude.
Prime and however that works is what we're looking toward in the future. But we'll make sure and let you guys know. So if you follow Kady Kane, if you follow me on social media, we're gonna make sure everybody knows. But yeah, we're gonna find a way so people can watch it. Right now, we're just doing the LA Skins Fest. I didn't look up this TCL theater or whatever, but I don't
Yeah,
care. If nobody else goes, I'm gonna be in heaven for that 10 minutes when I watch it on that big screen. Or
me
11
too,
minutes, whatever
bro.
it is.
That's where I'm going. I was like, ah, conflicted. I didn't go to the Nammys,
Same here.
but my guys went. You went, and the reports were what I expected. And you and I went to Vegas. That was under that law firm in Seattle. They paid you guys to come out one night. They paid me and DeNovo to come out one night. And that was not a good experience. And so I don't want to just go into it looking negative, but at least I get to see my shit on a big screen, you know? If they treat
In
me some kind
Hollywood,
of way,
California.
yeah. And if they treat me some kind of way, that's fine. There's rec weed. We can go and get some weed and work on some songs, you know?
No,
I'm
your
not
film is going to be shown in Hollywood, California.
fuck yeah, dude.
Just that's it right there. Your face on something that I wrote in Wapato, Washington, on the Yakima Reservation is going to be shown in Hollywood. It's worth it.
Yeah, it
Everything else
is.
is a bonus after that.
Fuck yeah, dude. Cuz that wasn't the goal, Ryan Craig, but it's still
No, it wasn't.
an awesome perk, you know? Cuz it's
So for anybody who has the drive and the motivation, you can do it. And that's
yeah, man.
what I want people to realize. You can do it. I mean, people probably drove by Legends Casino and said, "What are those people doing right there?" Because we filmed right there. And somebody might have said, Why is that girl putting on that jail suit out in Wapato? Like, what is she doing?" We were that serious about it. We were that
Yeah.
about it to say, let's make this fucking movie.
Goddamn right.
So I'm excited for
And
people to see it. How did you feel? How did you feel about the emotions of it? Did you feel like you and Kylie brought what the mood and the vibe and the emotion was supposed to be? Do you feel like you guys pulled it off?
I do. Uh Kylie Fox is hot, you know? So I didn't have to act too much. It's kind of natural.
right?
But yeah, we rehearsed a couple of times our line on Friday after we scooped her at the airport, and everything felt comfortable. It was cool, and the emotions, dude. Like I was just trying to accurately portray you. You know what I mean? Like the way I
Right.
smile, I try to make it super toothy like Ryan Craig. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like cheesing. And that was my main concern was just making sure you thought it was good, you know? And like,
I thought you guys captured everything. I really did.
yeah. And then when we did our post interview on Sunday, like that's when like the emotions started hitting. Like I just couldn't stop tearing up and feeling all crybaby and shit. And like you were talking about how we as native men aren't really allowed to express our emotion. Um, and I had an ex-girlfriend who passed away in a car wreck. I don't want to say her name because it was a long time ago, and I love her and I miss her. But I never dealt with that, bro. Like I barely stepped to the funeral and the memorial shit, and I didn't go to the burial. Like it hurt too much to be around, and so filming that movie, I feel like it made me process it, and it just made me want to cry on Sunday. You know what I mean? Because it was sad. It's a sad thing to have happen in your life. You know, so I think that's why I love it so much too. Like I'm switching from rap to rock, and it's because I like writing those songs, and I get to express my emotion a little bit more than I can on a rap. You know,
Yeah.
and the emotions of the movie, like for real, dude. I was crying on Sunday, and I was like, "Why the fuck am I doing?" And I feel like that's like I never dealt with it, and that happened a week before my first album dropped. You know, so
That's crazy.
that was a long time ago, and so I feel like it's good to deal with shit like that. Like, if you don't like counseling, then talk to a buddy or just talk to a camera. You know what I mean? Record it
Yeah.
and watch it later, and you'll feel better. You know?
How did you feel about? And in the beginning, this wasn't intentional, but the female character, I didn't tell anybody this before. Those were her favorite songs. So for
Damn.
whatever reason, the So They Say, and then the Red Sox album that has the song Yakima and Squash Beer Can and oh, Badass Bitch, which is one of the most
Yeah.
ignorant songs I've ever made. Those albums were kind of like around the same time, but they continued to be played for years after. And I'm not saying anything
Goddamn
big
right.
headed. That's just what happened. How did you feel about the soundtrack? The way we had So They Say and the Red Sox, the Outsiders, kind of set the tone. Even though it wasn't the '07, '08 era for the film, we kind of made it that. What did you think
Yeah.
about that?
Dude, that was dope. That's the cinematography of Ryan Craig. You know, like it was dope. Cause that album, that was a good one. You know what I mean? From both of us. And those songs, they're pretty iconic. Like, I'm totally on to some other shit with my rock, but that stuff makes me feel nostalgic. Like, fuck, those songs are tight. And it's cool that those are the songs she was into, you know? Like that's dope. Little badass
I thought they
bitch.
captured the vibe and they captured the moment. Meaning we didn't force it. We didn't say it has to be so they say and it has to be the Outsiders. I kind of did, but at the same time, we had enough in those albums to say this is perfect for here. I thought when Kylie Fox played a scene where she's waiting for the visit in a cell when the off one lyrics come on, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna be perfect. You know what you're talking about? That so much more when she's pacing back and
Yeah.
forth,
So much
and then
more.
Nate was
Yeah,
able to
dude.
add different sounds. So yeah,
Yeah. The ambient sound in the gel. Yeah, that was tight. Like that.
genius.
Yeah, Nate's tight. You know?
I
Like he
thought the
did a
way he
really good
added the
job.
laugh when Twist and Blow comes on, when Twist and Blow comes on, he added the laugh and he made it to where you hear me directing. Now that's something only Nate would do. Anybody else would have said, "No, you can't have that in there." Did you notice that?
I did.
That was
He's like, no, no,
genius
Kylie,
for
like
him
your
to
man.
put that.
Yep.
So people out there, log on to Facebook, go to Kady Kane's page or go to Ryan Craig's page, see the trailer, see what we're talking about. Look for it coming soon to however we're gonna do it, Amazon Prime, whatever it's gonna be. We'll let you guys know. But I gotta get these kids some dinner. So
Oh
oh, and let me
yeah,
say
all
this
good,
too,
Ryan
Kady
Craig.
Kane. If anybody wants to go on Amazon Prime or YouTube, look up Guardian Ancestor. That's the first film that I did. It stars my son and his cousin when they were 14 years old. Check that out, please. And I'd love to keep talking, but I gotta. And I'm gonna see you on Saturday. Well,
Okay.
yeah, well, so, okay.
Yeah. I'll scoop you at the airport.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Later. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I guess that wraps the episode. I'm gonna go ahead and do my outro dance. Oh wait, can we keep going, Mitch? Okay. I don't have the echo anymore, which is super nice, man. Yeah. All right. So we could edit that out, or we could not. God damn it, because it's our show. So I'm gonna do my outro dance, ladies and gentlemen. This was the 32nd episode of Concerned Dabs podcast. I was your host, Kady Kane. Missing in action was my co-host Will Terps. We'll get him back on December 1st. Holler at your boy Will when you hear this episode. I want to know what you think. Also, shout out to tonight's episode guest, Ryan Craig, the writer and director of the short film You Love Who You Love, showing at the LA Skins Film Festival this Sunday night, November 24th at 8 p.m., starring yours truly, Kady Kane, and Kylie Fox. I'm super excited. We got to pre record this episode and everything's going to work out. Um, I also got to give a real big shout out to my guys in production, Mitchell Wilson and Jesse Curry. Like, I appreciate you guys for showing up uh, on a night where we usually would be at home just chilling, doing a regular practice call. But it's like you guys went to where the beefy internet was at and made it happen. So I thank you guys, man. I know you guys got fam and other stuff to do. So um, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. This wait. This was a May Note and Joseph Street Enterprise production.